The president is riding high this morning and eager to celebrate after his 3-month battle over this new Supreme Court justice. He took his first victory lap to a rally in Kansas, where he argued that his Supreme Court success could help the Republican Party in November.
Crowing in Kansas.
I stand before you today on the heels of a tremendous victory for our nation, our people, and our beloved Constitution.
The president celebrated his newest justice.
Brett Kavanaugh is a man of great character and intellect.
Gleeful about his reshaping the court with conservatives.
We've had two in less than 2 years.
He tried turning his court win into a cause for the midterm election, blaming Democrats for the bitter confirmation process, urging supporters to block a blue wave at the polls.
You don't hand matches to an arsonist, and you don't give power to an angry left-wing mob, and that's what they've become.
But across the country, demonstrators made their voices heard. Many angry that sexual misconduct accusations against Kavanaugh did not derail his rise. In Washington, protesters stormed the steps and climbed statues at the Supreme Court. Brett Kavanaugh arrived there for a private swearing-in ceremony, joined by his wife and daughters. Activists stayed into the night, discouraged but not giving up.
The fight is too important to quit.
Kavanaugh's supporters, who did not believe the sexual misconduct allegations, said the system worked.
I think that it means it's a win for due process. The court of public opinion doesn't always have to be accurate.
President Trump had watched the confirmation vote from Air Force One and called the Kavanaugh family with good wishes. He told reporters that he is certain Kavanaugh did not assault Christine Blasey Ford.
Ford named the wrong person? Or?
I'm 100%, I have no doubt. And the FBI has done an excellent job.
The president also tried to make a measuring stick out of comparative crowd size again, saying that the number of people who turned out to see him in Kansas in the arena and an overflow audience was greater than the number of protesters who have been making their voices heard here in Washington. He tried to argue that that is a sign that his view was really the one that dominated the day. And he also has tried to make the point that this will make a difference come November for voters. And he said that although the process was not too nice, it ultimately worked out well for him. Willie?
Kelly O'Donnell at the White House. Kelly, thank you.